In the origins before, that place where what will be simmers and moves from possibilities to purpose. In that spaciousness was the first beat of a heart, sacred and ancient, moving to form. Upon prayer and ancient language, fire gave birth to fire in this place before individuations, where there was unity, seeking to experience itself. At its center was divinity, within was causation, and love gave birth to form. And the forms of the formless came into being, each a cell of the heart of the Creator, split for the sake of experiencing separateness. Forever seeking to find completion, they moved forth from the veil, the Maya, a moment of forgetfulness. Flesh upon essence, the sacred moved into that which no longer was subtle in form, and the search for that which would once again return the wanderer to whole began. For there were the days of roses.
Then came the days of dross, and the burning away of flesh, and the scouring screams of the spirit in total agony, the wandering in the wastelands which became a habit, and the drinking of the bitters to endure. The skies were awash with incumbent grays, and all there was became the make of salted flats, and there was no relief, no respite, and the caring became the only thing that stood between the moment of dropping the flesh and allowing the spirit to rise. And the bones ached, and the skin rotted, as the days became the molder of only memories that burnt like coals upon an unmade fire. Soon was never soon enough, and the burning of sacrifice made nothing what it should have been, and the eyes lifted saw skies and were darkened by the saline wash of foaming tides, the tilt of slow back-breaking years unending. Into the night was poured the wealth of dreams to stain and bruise the shadows and leave behind all that was life. Yet, into the stillness of an echo came the soft sobs for the needs of a gentle fierceness that knew no bounds, and reached across borders to draw the lingering wounds from such a one as broken as that. And the hands lay gently relieving sands, the weltering scars, and the easing away of grains at a time. What had been, and the information slowly changed. Blood was the flow, and the darkness could not contain what needed air, sunshine, and light, and the knowing of what it meant to become one with the beloved, to retrieve what had been lost so many times before, unto not even being a memory. Yea, the wind song played, and the grasses stirred, and the passage continued, and then came the stirring of the heart that seemed to be part of never was. And she said, I can hear your heartbeat, first memory. Can you hear it? And so began the searing means of cauterizing what seemed for so long a wish of vanity. The dross shearing the roses replaced by fire and light, and all began as a seed dormant and watchful as the skies continued their lawful unfolding into the night, lightening, leavening unto day. The rains spent, now was the moment of planting and reseeding the better grounds of an earth lain fallow for too long, in the shadow of roots that were shown to be the dreams rebirthed. There was the moving to discernment, the days when skin peeled back from flesh.
Among the incarnations were members of the soul pack, reflections of the One, in eyes that looked deep with recognitions, pieces and parts, mistaken for the whole, karmic twists and entwining, bitter and sweetness, teaching for the reunification, time filtering lessons, the ancient days, the many tongues and the roles we played at one another's feet, disguises of the beloved we worshipped there at the altar of possibility and the memory of unity, still seeking that from which we had been torn, the dark ripped in two. Then Radha met Krishna, and the dance of the One came into formation. Dispensation for the twin souls was given a vision, finally, a form, beautiful in its grace. Unified, the karmic lines needed to be cleared, seared and cleansed. The path of fire, light, and pure energy, the holy place, revealed in that moment. Two became one, re-enjoined, moment to move towards love, changing the experience of all things. A sacred altar formed of flesh, laid down now at your feet. This is coming home, and was found in the echo of the warm waters of a heartbeat that continues, unending, undiminished, for it is the return to origins. It is sacred, the violet flame, a path to be walked in sacred steps, hand in hand, essence within essence, as even in the dust of ourselves we learned what was needed.
To make clean the flame, ever burning in its light, and the only impurities being that of perception, and thus into the sun and the promise of the eastern glow do we walk, stronger, ever thus, prayer laid side by side upon the earth of our walking, and the miles became as nothing within the grace of pulse and spirit, born between two as one, the love that could never be quenched, the eternal showing its face, the smile of which being reflected within each other, the reflections of self become selfless as we see ourselves in that place of the beloved. The song continues, the dance never ending, and the whole becomes known, and we walk hand in hand into the pigmented frame of the greatest of archways, yea, even so, the ancient rainbow, placing our blown handprints in parallels, seeing the overlap, knowing that eternity is ours and the immortality is the spirit song of the beloved, yea, fire and light from which we came and to which we would return is the spirit song of the beloved. Though the earth should end, we would find each other within the space of a breath, the one intake always shared, so the knowing could never be within the space of a breath, the one intake eternally where we should go into the beauty of Grandmother Moon's silver smile, even as we should walk the dreaming path under the ghost road, this sacred altar built of flesh and essence.
The subtle touch, and return to the origins of the heart of the Creator for the service, a chalice to be preserved with great care. It is auspicious in ancient wisdom. The fire shall burn as one, the forms of the formless and the ever-evolving. Lila the dance, gifted and touched by grace, must be honored. As Krishna calls Radha, she stands by his side. So it is the two stand as one, in the circle of fire, and the dance begins.